Well, I come from a family that has been devoted to music. My mother was a wonderful pianist. And her older sister was an even better pianist, and they came up from Alabama, the Deep South, uh, way back, I guess, 1915 or something like that. I think, and they were so brilliant that they were A students at Lorain High School in Lorain, Ohio. And I was born in Lorain, Ohio. And so my mother and dad moved to Elyria, Ohio, very close by, very near Oberlin, Ohio, where I ultimately took some lessons in French horn and cello. I've always admired composition and composers, but never thought I would become a composer until I started hearing things in my head. I thought I should check that out because hearing things in your head could mean one thing or it could mean another thing. The one thing was that this was original, that these sounds and this music was original with me. So I went to Ohio State and university, studied French horn and some cello and a bit of composition, which brought me to New York City to study with Hall Overton and get my master's at Juilliard with Luciano Berio and Vincent Persichetti. So composition, composing music became very, very natural to me. I had heard great music played by my mother, and on the piano. She also played boogie woogie, and she also loved the music of Duke Ellington and played that. So I didn't really have any sense that there was any difference between classical music and jazz or whatever else was being played as long as it was good. I did get involved with creating music on the spot downtown, and so I started this group called the Sky Music Ensemble, and they still exist, and it was a group that I didn't pretend to play in the group. I decided I would be the composer, the conductor, and the composer, and so I created works that would exploit the best in the musicians that I was working with, some of whom are, well, they were all world class. I didn't know it at the time. I just knew that they were really good. I realized early on the how much music can influence how people not only feel but even think. And of course, also I was around during the 60s when in that case rock music, but also jazz, and to some extent classical music, were actually the philosophers of the period. They were creating a whole new way to think about things that was not there otherwise. So I've always considered my music as it's not only a matter for my own self-expression, but also for a way to help people and to make a dent in the social fabric that needed having a dent put in it. So so I've always considered that as part of my work, but I don't think of it so much. But what I think about is the next note and the next passage and how the music feels and the weights and counterweights and point and counterpoint. But sitting back there deep in the recesses of my subconscious is always the will to be helpful. I think musicians, right from the first Homo sapiens, were considered priests of the tribe, and in a way, I consider myself very much a priest of the tribe of 2014.